What is going on, everybody? I go by Philly Mike, and this is the Philly Talk Podcast. And today we got something a little bit different, a live stream. If you've been rocking with the channel for a minute, we used to do a lot of live streams on StreamYard. Now I rock with the videos and live streams solo on OBS. However, not quite able to get a call in over there. So we going old school Philly Mike, call in StreamYard. The link is pinned. I see a couple y'all jumped in here. ASAP Rocky, shout out to y'all. The link is pinned to the top of the comment section. You click it, type your name. You can get your voice on the screen and your picture. If you don't want to show your video / face / whatever, you can just do a voice. But today I want to hear from you guys on what is going on with the Philadelphia Eagles as it pertains to the direction in which Jeff Lurie, Howie Roseman will end up going with, right? Lurie is going to be the owner in 2024. Howie is going to be the GM in 2024. But what will happen from the next spot up, right? Jalen, the franchise guy. AJ will be back. Devontae, right? Most of the offensive line. We're going to see a lot of similarities to the 2023 Philadelphia Eagles. Hopefully, some of them similarities, like the Jalen, the AJ, and the O-line, and blah, 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 is more like the 2022 Eagles in 2024. However, I do want to hear from y'all. Good, bad, ugly, sad. Is Nick going to stay? Do you want him to stay? Do you want him to go? Is it that you want Nick to go, but you believe Jeff Lurie and Howie Roseman will bring him back? Right now, the rumors are this. Howie Roseman is making some calls for coordinators, right? The rumors and the news we have gotten so far is Howie Roseman is calling around for OCs and DCs. We also got news that Nick Sirianni was given a couple days after the season to formulate a plan, whether that's including OCs and DCs he would like to bring in, not named Brian Johnson, Sean Desai, or Matt Patricia. So Nick has to present an argument to Jeff Lurie and company on why he should be the head coach. What is the plan going forward? Whether he's successful or not, Howie Roseman is still doing his due diligence by just calling around and seeing what's out there. Who can go alongside of Nick and or go alongside of the new thing, right? You got guys like Bill Belichick, Mike Vrabel out there on the market, Jim Harbaugh. You got some up-and-coming guys like Ben Johnson and stuff like that. I would like to talk to all y'all about it. A couple of y'all just dropped out, but again, if you want to call in, all you got to do is click the link at the top of the comment section, type your name, and come let's chop it up. Again, we haven't done this in a long time. A couple of y'all been mentioning about the Jam Stream app, which we don't do no more. But a good way to get on here and speak your mind. And if you are a little shy and or don't want to, you don't have to show your face. Maybe you're just embarrassed to be an Eagles fan at this point. I'm just kidding. That being said, I would love to hear from y'all. Good, bad, ugly, sad. If you come in, I'm not going to ask you too much. Just your thoughts on how the season ended and some of the plans you see for the future. Again, I do believe the link is in the description, pinned. Yes, it's right there. Introducing Domino's pepperoni. You know, we ain't all. So go ahead and click that link and let's go. Comments are not enabled. I don't know what that means. They should be perfectly fine. I see y'all commenting right now in the chat. PD Taddis said this is crazy. Coach and market right now. Oh, you have to fire Nick. I mean, I think that is also circulating around Jeff Lurie's mind, right? Like, when are you gonna? When is there gonna be a coaching market with guys like Vrabel, Belichick, Harbaugh? Like, when are you gonna have that type of market? I think that plays in what Howie Roseman's decision not Howie, but Lurie's decision might be. Let's get the first guest up in here real quick. Ivan Mims, what's going on with you, bro?
What's up, bro?
How you feeling after this 2023 playoff loss ending the season? What was your initial thought as soon as the game ended?
Bro, I was sick. Bro, I'm 47 years old, man. I've been I've been saying this for a minute. Is we had good times, bad times, but just speaking of the other day, bro, I was sick. You understand what I'm saying? Like, and the sad part about it is us as fans, bro. We can see the stuff going on. You
Mm-hmm.
understand what I'm saying? No matter how we look at it, no matter how we want to view the situation, you know what I mean? Whether if it's player perspective, coach perspective, you understand what I'm saying? We see something. So the thing is, no matter what we see, it's right. No matter how we want to view on where the fault is coming from. So we see a problem. Why the coaches don't see the problem, bro? Why they acting like they get paid for this? I don't. I don't get paid $1 million, man, to know to run the ball. I know to run the ball. When I coach football, bro, I running the football. You understand what I'm saying? That's just the facts of football. You understand what I'm saying? Like, this is what we do. Every team knows that. Every coach knows that. So when you see stuff like that, man, and you play with our emotions by running the ball for a second, then stop. You make me think that you're trying to throw a game. But who does that? You understand what I'm saying? So you make me feel a certain kind of way because something just don't add. It don't make sense.
It
It
doesn't.
don't make sense, man. Like, you know how people tank for a draft pick. You
Mm-hmm.
know, you know. Always, I'm gonna tell you what I said. I told somebody. I told somebody. I said, some players, probably went to the coaches and gave an insight. And
Mm-hmm.
us, when we go to a job, if we're not working for ourselves, a boss will always say, I'm the boss, you the employee. If you don't like it, you can leave, you can go home, you can clock out, right? So I feel that a coach probably told a player, yo, hey, I coach, you play. That's the disrespecting thing that a coach can tell a player. If we respecting each other as this and that and the other, and we supposed to be family. We supposed to be able to talk. And you tell me you coach, I play, but yet I know you got me playing 7 yards off. You got me in the wrong spots. You got me, you know. Now let's think about this for a second. Well, they been coaching like that, right? But at one point in time, we were still getting over the hump. We were still getting sacks. We were still getting pressure. We might get a pick every now and then, So I feel like the players was taking that extra step to make something happen. You know what I'm saying? Like playing off just pure skills versus scheme.
Mm-hmm.
But when you tell me shut up, my way, your way, I ain't saying that's what happened.
I hear
But
you. I
when
hear
you
you.
right. But now I feel like okay, that's how you feel. Well, I'm gonna run your bull crap scheme. I'm gonna do, and I'm not gonna take that extra step. I'm not gonna take that extra. You understand what I'm saying? And
A little
everything just
disconnect, definitely a disconnect and whatnot, and we started to hear that, right? I think players were picking sides. I think there was a little bit more of fire to the smoke that was getting presented to us via the end of the season, right? Uh, the pointing fingers, who's wrong, who's right. Hurts coming out here saying he wants to do a little bit different things, like let's implement this, that, and the third, and the coach is pretty much saying my way to highway, my
right,
way or the highway. I totally
right,
agree. We do got some more
right.
people. I do want to get I want to ask you this one last thing before we get you up out of here. If it was up to you, Ivan, if you got the final decision, Nick Sirianni back, Nick Sirianni let go.
I was, I was, I was saying fire everybody. Well, of course I want Brian Johnson. I want, I want veteran coordinators, man. I want, but now that I've had time to, you keep Sarah, you give him another chance, man. Give him another chance because we cannot keep switching Jalen with all these different coaches every year. You understand what I'm saying? Like, because guess what? If the new coach don't pan out again, then we're gonna fire somebody else. Like let's get something going. Just stick with it. But I do want a new OC and I do want another DC, and that's for sure. That's
I
for sure.
I can
We
respect that.
need to be back, man. One more year. Let's see what's going on. Let's see what happens.
One more year with Nick Sirianni with some new coordinators. That's what my guy Ivan got to say. Yo, I appreciate you being the first one to call up.
Yes, sir.
All right, be easy, bro.
All right, man. Be cool.
Peace, peace. All right. Let's go. Let's go. We got some people in the back. It's starting to fill up. Once there's more than 8 people, 8 or 10 people, I forgot. I haven't done this in a while. It won't let you in until somebody gets out. Let's just keep going in order. Uh, what's going on? George,
What's up, man?
how you feeling?
I'm not feeling good, man.
Yeah, you can't be. You can't be. I mean, at least we're a couple days removed. Could you imagine me doing this on like on the Tuesday, Wednesday? At least we're a couple
Man,
days removed. But
it still hurts, man. I don't care what day it is. It hurts.
exactly right. I was actually on a Bet US TV program today, and we talked a little bit about the Eagles. But they're like, oh, well, moving on to teams that are playing, and it's like, yeah, that sucks.
Yeah, man. Honestly, to kind of piggyback off of what he was saying, like, man, I'm a fan, and I didn't even play football growing up just because my mom would let me. I was too small. But that's just to say, like, I don't know as much as the people that get paid hundreds of thousands of dollars to coach. And there's certain things that, man, it just didn't make sense. Like, and it's beyond like not making sense. Something was fishy with the whole thing. Cause again, I don't make that kind of money to see the common sense things where it's like run the ball or Jalen Hurts is being blitzed. Where's his outlet?
Mm-hmm.
Like those are common sense things. And it's more than just, if I can see it, I don't know football like that. I do know some, but I don't know it like that. And I'm not getting paid. You can see it. Something ain't right. And man, it might just be the script wasn't right this year. I don't know. But the last thing I was going to say.
That NFL script was being written perfectly fine for the first 11 weeks. That
see,
new editor got on there and
though,
said Eagles. We going to take the Eagles out of it.
The thing is, with that first 10 weeks, though, we didn't really look that great anyways. Like, at no point in the season did we really look that great. We were winning games, and I guess that's cool, but it kind of reminds me of the Cowboys. And before you jump on me, like, we're nothing like the Cowboys, but the Cowboys were riding this high when they weren't really doing anything the whole year. And then it finally caught up with them, and they were beating up on trash teams like they always do. I'm not saying we beat up on trash teams, but I'm saying when you got to look at the whole picture. How were you winning those games? Who were you winning those games against? And
I mean, we got some. I agree with you with the close games, right? But we got some close victories, close or not, but against some teams. Look, the Bills are still playing, right?
Yeah.
I mean, and listen, people are gonna say, well, that was the Bills in the beginning of the season. When no. That was the Bills once they made the change. They already made the change because they went 6-1 with their new OC. The Bills decided to fire their coordinator and got better by doing it, right?
Yeah.
What other team could have fired a coordinator and got better on the offensive side? Oh, yeah, the Birds. Anyways, that being said, they were 6-1 because they lost to us, but we do have a close victory against the Bills, the Chiefs. We beat the Cowboys once, and we beat the Dolphins. Heck, we beat the Rams. We beat the Bucks, right? We beat teams that are in there. So there once upon a time was some, not sexy. We weren't beating teams like 2022 Birds, but we were still holding our own. We can't even hold our own. Like the way we got beat by the Bucks, we didn't just lose to the Bucks. That shit was 32-9, bro.
And the Bucks ain't even they're not even that. They're not even like that.
Get smoked by the Lions.
The last thing I'm gonna say is this, man. Like what should we do in the off season? I think the biggest thing, like at the end of the day, you could fire the coordinators and stuff, but at the end of the day, like Nick Sirianni is responsible for everything. Like if my team sucks, I'm the lead of the team. Like I'm at fault at the end of the day. And the crazy thing about the whole Jalen Hurts thing is like we saw what he could do last year with a good coordinator, but I don't want it to become a thing of. I don't think it's a thing of the head coach as much as it is who's calling the plays. If the play caller keeps changing, it's not going to be good for Jalen Hurts. If I'm not mistaken, he was at one point every single year dealing with a new coordinator, and I don't want to start that over again. So if we're going to do something, we need to do it now. Get a coordinator that we can stick with. Man, why in the hell did we get rid of Shane Steichen? Like there should be some rule in play where you can't go from a first time OC to a head coach the next year. Like, come on, man. Like
Yeah, you need you
we've
should
had some of that.
you need a mandatory 3 years with the same. I would love
Yeah,
that too, but
man.
see, we didn't get rid of these guys. They got promoted to get to head coaches, and who's gonna stay as an OC when they can get their own team? But I would like some rule like that to be in. And here's the thing: if you get a guy like Frank Wright who already tried it, listen, successful OC. We went to the Super Bowl with that dude. He hasn't been successful as a head coach, right? Indianapolis, yeah. Carolina, no. So when you get a guy like Frank Wright, who's already been two head coaches for two different organizations, and it didn't pan out, he might not get poached right away. So I'm with you on that. Last question before I get you out: if it was your decision, Howie Roseman called you up and said, "You get the pick. Nick stays, Nick goes." What's your decision?
Nick stays, but we get an offensive coordinator and we stick with him for the next few years. And that's if not, then get rid of him too. And get rid of him too.
Hey, I hear you, bro. I appreciate you for coming in and dropping your 2 cents, my guy.
All right, bro. Appreciate you, man.
Be easy. All right. We going through them. D Dragon, you up next. What's up with you, Brody?
Yo, man, what's up? I just got off work, bro. Can you hear me okay?
Yep, I can hear you loud and clear.
All right. How you doing, man?
I'm hanging in there for what I mean, 32-9 still on the top of the dome piece, but other than that,
No,
I
it's
mean, outside of football, I'm doing pretty good, I guess. How do you feel about the season finale / what's going on with the whole Nick stay, Nick go?
man, that I mean, man, it was a disastrous season, dude. Like, were we frauds the entire time? Like, I'm asking myself this all the time. Like, these past few days have been rough, man. uh, I just don't know
Definitely
where we
open your
went wrong,
eyes.
man.
The eyes were look, the eyes were slowly being open in each week of this losing streak, right? But the
Absolutely.
roster, the personnel, and just the players on the squad kept reeling me back in. But ultimately, the coaching staff was our biggest downfall. And not only scheme wise and play calling but just the buy-in, right? I don't care what these guys say when the microphone's in front of their face. Their body language showed me a lot of different things. And so, that's in the back of my mind as well, going into this whole debate. Should Nick stay with new coordinators or should Nick be ultimately let go? I think the fact that he don't call plays traditionally well or he doesn't do it, that hurts the head coach who's looking for coordinators who always might have a revolving door at the coordinator position. But what's your take on that?
It's tough, man. Right now it's not really fresh, but it's still fresh. So like initially my thought was fire everybody, clear the house, like get rid of everybody, coaching wise, not, player wise. Um, but now, I'm kind of reasoning a little bit, I don't know if is Frank Wright still does he have a job yet?
He doesn't.
Like would he be open to coming back as an offensive coordinator? Like would you take a back seat to your own, product, I guess, with Nick? I just, you need something to where there's been prior success, or I mean, I don't even know, dude. It's just
I think Frank Wright is the actual perfect candidate, right? He knows Howie Roseman and Jeff Lurie. He's had a successful OC campaign with the Eagles before. He's a guy who's already been seen around the NFL as, yeah, he might call plays good, he might be a good OC, but he hasn't been successful as a head coach. Whether you blame him or not for the what happened in Indianapolis and Carolina. The fact is, though, I don't think a good season with the Eagles is going to have people saying, "Oh, now he's back to head coaching material," when he already failed two other places, right? So someone like him, you got the comfortability of Nick and Frank knowing each other's schemes, having similar stuff, like Shane, right?
yeah,
Let's keep it a buck.
yeah,
Shane and Nick, just like Frank and Nick, they have a similar scheme. However, I think when Shane was calling plays, he was able to say, "Hey, Nick, I think we should go this route for this game plan other than this." Where Brian Johnson is just you're the head coach. I'm glad to be a first time OC. I'm going to go with the flow. Nick, I think we should do this. Nick's like, I think we should do that. I bet, let's do that, right? I think Brian's more of in an agreement with Nick, where Shane offered some real value in the game plan. So when the play calling, which was Shane anyway, it was just easier flowing and just more into it. And I think that's what Frank can offer us, where if we do look good in 2024, he's not being asked to be a head coach in 2025.
Yeah, I mean, I actually had that like question, like I was thinking that earlier, like a few weeks, like maybe like a month ago. Like, is there just like too many yes men around Nick? Like, is that what the problem is? Like, nobody wants to tell him, like, hey, these screens aren't working.
Like,
Let's try
chill, bro.
something else.
Listen, the game plan has 9 screens. Can we knock the game plan down to about 2? They could still be in here. Let's keep these 2 that we worked
Yeah,
on the most, but we don't need 9. 9
and
different. 8 of them to Smitty. You know what I mean? We
yeah,
don't need 9 of them. Let's trim it down to 2. How about that?
and
You
like
know what I mean? Things like that, I think
yeah,
Shane did, and it was because Nick had a bigger respect for Shane, coached with him. They were once upon a time like equals, and then Nick got the job and brought him. I think that's why a Frank Wright could really, really have more say in this situation than he did anywhere else. And I think he'd get a lot of credit too, same way Shane did.
I mean, I know you got people waiting. I won't take too much time. I just wanted to jump back on like the 2 runs that we had in the beginning of the game. They were successful, were they not?
Yes.
Right? Like, what happened? Like, I like they need an offensive coordinator that's going to run the ball. We wasted DeAndre Swift. Like, we might not get him back next year. We had a year of him and we wasted it, man.
Yeah, and he still had his best stats ever while we pretty much had him on reserve most of the year. Real quick, D-Dragon, before you go, I got to ask everybody this to end it. If it was up to you, would you fire Nick or bring him back with new coordinators?
It's pretty much the same, man. If Frank Wright comes back, then yes. If he wants to try to keep the same coordinators and just clean house, keep Jeff Stoutland. Everybody else can go.
All right. I appreciate you, Brody.
All right, man. Stay up, man.
You already know. So far, nobody really came in and said, like they all said, if we can't get the legit coordinators in here, then go ahead and fire Nick. I think we all believe he doesn't really offer much, but nobody came here and said, I don't care what coordinators he gets, he's out of here. To them, no one has said that yet. We gonna see if that's coming in real quick. Again, shout out to everybody who's came through. Let's get my guy Mikey T on here. What's up, Mikey?
Yo, what's up, bro?
How you feel?
Man.
I don't even know why I lead with that, but what's your general thoughts on just the flame out? And it's not really a flame out because we've seen, if you look at the Giants game, the Cardinals game, the Seahawks game, we weren't playing good football. I think again the roster continued to fool me. The post game we're gonna buy in fooled me, but this team hasn't been good a month and a half of football. But what's your general thoughts?
And my general thoughts, I'm gonna start with Nick because I guess that's just the biggest thing. I feel like people be a little too hard on Nick. I mean, I think sometimes, bro, we gotta let these coaches grow. And I think Nick is also preaches like with growth and getting better every day. We gotta sometimes let these coaches learn to get better. Now, I'm not saying the offensive defensive coordinator, all of them gotta go. But I feel like Nick definitely deserves another chance with new coordinators, of course. But I feel like we also gonna run into the same issue because we don't really have a lot of losing seasons. We're mostly always like a winning team. So somebody's always gonna pick our coordinator. So it's either we fire Nick and just keep changing coordinators every couple of years, or we bring in Sean McVay type, the offensive true mind that's gonna stay with Jalen for the rest of his career.
And that's where the value of Nick is questionable for the simple fact that, again, if Nick was once upon a time OC, got hired as the Eagles head coach, tried to call plays for the first 7 weeks of the 2021 season, and then had to give him to Shane Steichen because he was horrible, right? That being said, the offensive minded coaches have an OC. If that OC gets taken, who cares? Because it's their scheme, which it snicks, which I don't like, but he can always fall back on calling plays. Like Sean McVay needs a DC to call plays for the Rams, right? but Sean McVay's going to call the plays. Sean McVay don't give a bleep who his OC is because he's only there to assist and help with the game planning and go over things. But when push comes to shove and they need a drive, that's Sean McVay doing it, right? He might give a little bit of duties to the OC, but it's still Sean McVay, and we don't have that in Nick. So, like you said, if there's OC that comes in here does good, he's going to get poached eventually. The only thing we could do is get a veteran OC who's already tried to be a head coach and hasn't been able to be. And then again, do you really want to limit yourself to that due to the fact that Nick's your head coach? And that's where I think it's more tricky. You look at Nick's resume, 3 years, 3 playoff victories, 9 wins his first season, double digits wins, year 2 to the Super Bowl. And then even in a horrible season, he gets 11 wins. Should have been way more. All that being said, you want to give a second chance to that pedigree. But when the lack of play calling, when you're just a frustrating situation, very frustrating situation.
That's a fact. So, I mean, like I said, I'm okay with Nick to come back. I definitely feel like Nick deserves a chance to get better. But we're also going to always have this problem because Nick is not a offensive mind or offensive guru or a defensive guru. He's not like a specialist at one certain thing. So we're always going to have this issue.
So what does he do? So what does he do?
I just feel like he's going to have to be a great recruiter at finding coaching talent. Like he's going to have to start finding young coaching talent, whether it's in college before everybody else gets them. But he's going to have to change the game as far as finding coaching talent if he wants to stick around to be an Eagles coach.
Yeah, and I'm curious to see what he says to Jeff Lurie to try to persuade him, especially with Howie on the phone already and whatnot. Hey, I appreciate you, Mikey.
Yeah, I appreciate you too, man. Thanks for having me on.
No problem. Shout out to everybody. We going through these as quick as possible. What's going on, Brody?
What's good, man? What's good?
I know you've been in the back a little bit listening to some of the people's things, right? You know, a lot of people say no one's safe in the coaching staff minus Jeff Stoutland. We love that guy to death. But what's your overall take? Are you give Nick Sirianni another chance kind of guy, or are you done with it?
I think it's like you said, it's a tricky situation. I feel like after the Cardinals game that we completely just blew, it seemed like he kind of lost the locker room a little bit. Well, not even a little bit. He lost the locker room, in my opinion, after the Cardinals game. And I feel like once you lose the locker room, and like you just said, he's not really an offensive guru. He's not a defensive guru. What is he actually good at? I feel like that's not in his favor at all. But you got the 9 wins the first season. You got the 14 wins in the bowl run, and you got 11 wins. Like, maybe he doesn't deserve to be fired, but I don't think it's actually, like, in his favor, being that, like we just said, you lost the locker room, and you know, you're not really a specialist at anything. So I think it's tricky. Me personally, I would love for us to get, like, obviously, y'all just talked about Frank Wright. I would love for us to get like a, you know, an OG coordinator or somebody that can realize we have Jalen Hurts, AJ Brown, Devontae Smith, and Goddard. So
and a run game.
And a run game. So my thing is, like, you know, you look at like a Ben Johnson, like what if he became the head coach or something like that? Like, I don't know. But like I said, it's tricky with Nick, man. It's not in his favor, but ultimately I think they'll give him another chance and try to bring like another, you know, more better coordinators in for sure.
Yeah, I agree with you. I do want to say this though. Again, the players have always talked about Nick Sirianni and his understanding of offense as a specialist, right? I don't want to say he don't know nothing about offense, right? He was an OC for the Indianapolis Colts. He didn't call plays. That was still Nick. I said Nick Wright. That was still Frank Wright, but he still went over the scheme with Frank Wright. And let's keep it a buck. The first 7 weeks of the 2021 season was not that good with situational play calling because it was Nick. When he gave it to Shane, it got better. Why? Because we started running the ball. However, the weekly game plan was still created by both these guys, Shane and Nick. So Nick still understands certain schemes and certain things that he wanted to do that he implemented in the 2022 season when we were successful. I just think that with no pushback and a guy like Shane, nobody you can trust, nobody to make him think outside of the box, he just started getting stagnant with his own true beliefs. And you know what he wants, right? What does he say? Got to limit the big play. And that's why he like guys like JG and now Sean Desai, because they play that prevent bend but don't break defense. They want to limit big plays and get big plays. I think that in 2022, Shane did a good job of implementing things in the middle, implementing things short, just keeping it more fresh, right? We did a quarterback draw once every 3 games, not once every quarter. You know what I mean? Things of that sort. So I think that's where things started to go rise. And I think, like you said, there was a time in the season where I think the guys kind of fell out on Nick. And that's hard to recover from. Again, you get a better play call, someone to push him. I still think that Nick understands. I want to think he understands the offense pretty good because Jason Kelsey, Lane, Hurts, other people have spoke about his stuff, and it was not. I mean, I'm getting lost for words a little bit. You know what I mean?
And then just think about so AJ Brown's bread and butter is obviously that slant.
Yeah.
But AJ is a train, man. When he catches the ball, he's not going down on the first tackle. And he had nothing over the middle besides the legit play I remember him dominating over the middle was that Rams play before the half where he caught it and took it damn near to the house almost. So I just feel like, man, and then if you look at everyone's stats, right, they don't look bad on paper, but to us that actually watch the game, it's it just looks completely different. I'm gonna be real, the guys did not look happy out there, running the same thing. And I think I read somewhere where they were kind of getting irritated with Hurts changing the play calls, and they didn't want him to keep changing the plays up. Mainly that KC game. They said Hurts was, changing the play calls up against KC, which I mean, he edged that game out. That play with Devontae Smith where he had checked it. I guess it was a blitz from the safety coming, and he had Devontae one-on-one. They said Hurts had changed the play call there, and that's not what the team had wanted at the time. So just, I feel like it was just a trust me on this, and like you said, nothing got changed. Nothing got changed. So, but yeah, man, just, man, more importantly, man, I just felt bad for Jalen because it looked bad on him, right? It looked bad on him, and got all these guys talking crazy about him. Like Acho, he changes his opinion every week on him. And
even Shady started giving him some shade. Shady came over, was like, let's get. Yeah, I mean, I definitely hear that. But look, I do got a lot of people in the back I got to get to. So you willing to give Nick another try though with some coordinators, right?
For sure, with some coordinators, but like you said, it's just not in his favor, being that he lost the locker room. So,
hey, respect, bro. Appreciate you for giving me your 2 cents. Easy. Okay. That was some good stuff right there. And look, we're going to try to go through these a little sooner because it's filled up in the back. It's already filled up in the back. I already been live for 34 minutes. We still got a while to go, but it's filled up in the back. And a lot of people are still trying to get in, I believe. Got my guy Stu Vision up next. What's going on, Stu?
What's good, Mike? Hey, Mike, before we even get into it, it's been a while. Hope your holidays was great. Hope you're having a good new year. Hope your family's doing good, bro.
They doing good. The Eagles, though, as we know, we're going through it.
Look, we all going through it right now. But here's something that I don't think a lot of people have really taken into consideration. How long have we all as Eagle fans known that Howie Roseman and Jeffrey Lurie want some type of air raid offense where they're always taking deep shots and stuff like that? Why do you think we've seen so many completely unnecessarily goofy route combinations? Like if you watch one route combination in the Tampa Bay game, I watched one where Devontae Smith was running a slot fade, but you had Dallas Goedert on the outside running a 7 route. You're basically putting both targets in the same area, and you got three defenders over there. Why are you doing that? Because you know, with Smitty being your only number one target, they're going to double him. So whatever side he's on, there's going to be an extra deep defender. And then you're still running him right over there, where his route that he's running runs him right underneath Dallas Goedert. That makes 0 sense. Those are the type of route combinations we were seeing all year. But if that's the type of offense they want, why do we think these plays were called this way? Because that's what they want.
So
And what is Nick?
this is Howie Roseman. This is Howie Roseman's
This is their
identity
game
on the
planning.
offense.
Exactly, because if you think about this, I want everybody to think about this. Nobody was going to hire Nick Sirianni. Nobody was even looking at Nick Sirianni as a coaching candidate when we hired him. Why is he put in this position as a head coach? To be a yes man.
But something worked in 2022 with the coaching staff on offense being Nick and Shane.
Nick gave up game planning. That's what it was.
Not game
Nick
planning.
gave up he gave up play calling to somebody who actually understood what to do in situations. Nick still hasn't figured that out. But Nick is a yes man. So in situations, no matter what it is, Nick's going to do what they want to do. Okay, it's 3rd and short. Let's take a deep shot here. Why? When you can run the ball, you gain at least 1 or 2 yards. And if you only gain 1, you've got to play that can't nobody stop. But you don't do that.
Yeah. Honestly, there's no reason why we don't brotherly shove every 3rd and 2. 3rd and 2 should be under the brotherly shove category. Simple.
Like, I don't get, like, literally, I've seen us run that play and Jalen get 4 yards.
Exactly.
So I'm looking at it like 3rd and 3, you can run that play.
I agree. I would the latter part of the season, all these 3rd and 2s, we kept doing stupid stuff, was pissing me off for sure. So with your sequilatory, right? Let me ask you this. Would you bring Nick back or would you sever ties?
Let's see, earlier you asked it a different way, and I was hoping you would ask me the same way. If Howie Roseman was calling me, I would say, he's coming back, but you're not a part of game planning anymore, Howie.
That's what
you have
want to
nothing to do with that. And I'm hiring established coordinators who know what they're doing. So when you even try to walk in there on game planning, they looking at you like you a damn fool.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm doing. If that's not the case, right? Because me personally, I either want Wink Martindale or Mike Vrabel to be the defensive coordinator.
I like Wink as a DC.
Either one of those with this defensive talent on the rosters that we have. Either one of them would be effective. Will make us a top 10, possibly top 5 defense.
Yeah, I just don't think you're going to get Vrabel to go from head coach to DC. You know what I mean? I think that he has a wide market out there. Somebody's going to give him a head coach.
That's true, but I've seen a lot of coaches, guys go from being head coaches that said, you know what, let me go back to being a coordinator for a little while just to take a break from being that head guy.
When they didn't have success. This man took some not that good teams. Listen, the teams that he took to the AFC Championship with Tennessee, I mean, they weren't, other than Henry, who else was there? I mean, yeah, AJ was there, but like, I mean, he did some pretty good stuff over there. So
yeah, he did not want to give
another head coaching job.
He would like literally, you could tell when they traded AJ, you could tell he was hurt, bro.
He was mad.
He was big mad right there. So I was like, But yeah, I would say I would bring him back, but I'm hiring established coordinators and play callers on both sides of the ball. To be honest with you, I'm gonna say what was said earlier. If I'm getting rid of coaches, everybody can go except for Stout. Everybody can go except for Stout. And if I'm replacing them, the rest of them coaches, I'm replacing them guys with former players that understand what it takes to actually play in this damn.
I think a lot of Eagle Nations lockstep with that. You know, just got to get
Like with
veteran
like former
OCs
players
and
that
DCs in
played
here.
that position, like former linebackers coach to coach linebackers, former linebackers coach linebackers, a former corner to coach the corners, a former safety to be with it. I want to do it like that because, like, if you look at it, bro, look at Peanut Tillman, the way he coaching them corners and how he got Deron Bland playing in Dallas. You don't be that. You're not that good 2 years in your first 2 years unless somebody's coaching you, and that somebody that's coaching you knows how to play this game because they did it themselves.
Yeah, I mean, I'm always for that, especially when they don't have to deal with nothing just but that position, which they have tons of experience in. Real quick though, Jay Fazzy with the $5 super chat should give Denard Wilson a call for DC. Listen, Slay came out and said Slay was
I wanted him
advocating for
last year.
him in the offseason, Denard
I
Wilson.
wanted him last year.
Baltimore Ravens secondary looking extra good over there. And he straight said he was better than Sean and Matt. But hey, listen, Stu, I got some people in the back I got to get to. I appreciate you. He came in saying we got to get rid of the Howie Roseman game plan. I like that.
All right, yeah, I got to get me another drink anyway, bro. Yo, do your thing, bro. I'll let you.
Hey, be easy, bro. AJ Fazzy, I appreciate the $5 super chat, and I do agree with you there for sure. Denard Wilson did a lot of good stuff for the Baltimore Ravens, and he should have been given the opportunity to be DC. Trust your dopeness. What's going on?
What's up with you, G?
Chilling. What's up with you?
Life is good, man. I can't complain. So check it out. I'm looking at this from two different angles. I think the conversation isn't necessarily fire Nick, keep Nick. Like, you know what I mean? We don't know. Like, I know Nick came in, he was calling plays once upon a time. He stunk up the joint, and then, we passed the baton on to Shane. Cool. And they had good chemistry. It worked out. Last year was lovely. I think the thing is more so like the Eagles as a franchise, the conversation should be more about like what type of what is it that the franchise want to do? Do they want to win or do they want to win on their terms? That's the conversation. Because if they want to win, then we don't even have the whole Doug Peterson situation happen. If we want to win, you know what I'm saying? But if we trying to win and we trying to win on our terms and it's Howie and this, that, or the other, then in my honest opinion, I'm more inclined to believe that with the Nick Sirianni experiment, I don't think he necessarily lost the locker room. I just think he kind of got to a point where he was a bit pensive or apprehensive when it came down to like decision making, particularly in the offense, especially when it was falling apart, because it's not just about trying to make the adjustment in that space, but it's trying to do it in a way that's on brand for how this franchise wants to play football, as opposed to trying to do it so that we can win football games. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's
So
the issue.
kind of like having one hand be tied behind your back, where you have to adjust and fix things, but not to exactly your liking, but to the liking of the franchise and the people who have you,
Yeah. And
have you employed.
I definitely think the players feel that too. So I don't think Nick lost the locker room in the sense of he was just tyrannically doing things that they were opposed to or didn't want to do. I think it was more so like maybe, and I'm not saying this for fact, I don't know, none of us know, but I'm just saying at the end of the day, I think maybe it was a situation where they're kind of like Nick, like, come on, man, like, you know better, like almost like they want him to be a dog, like be a dog, like come on, let's go. Like even like the videos or the pictures we seen, like how AJ was like seemingly mean mugging him on the sideline. I don't think that was like I'm mad at you for XYZ as it is like, come on, bro, like come
Why
on.
are you doing this?
Yeah, like and like almost like we need you to be a renegade so that we can go out here and play the brand of football we know. We in the locker room, they not in the locker room. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's probably where systematically over the year you just get like any other person, if you got to keep coming to work every day and you doing the same mundane thing, and it's like, bro, ain't nobody like, there's a way more efficient way we could get this done, and it's like y'all not even trying to do it, you check out. And I think that's kind of what happened in the beginning of the season. We kind of was still running off of some of the fumes from last year and the sort of coordination we had last year from those coordinators. But as we get deeper and deeper into this season, those things wore out. And when you're not getting the support, like in game, that you feel in locker room, it's like, yo, what are we doing? You know what I mean? So I get the whole coordinator thing. I definitely think Nick should stay. I don't think I don't think Nick is there because he's supposed to be this specialist in offense, defense, specialty. I don't think that's his gift as a coach. I think maybe none of those guys said anything disparaging about Nick. So I think probably his contribution to that locker room is his ability to just be able to connect with the guys and cultivate
One of
chemistry
his core
amongst them.
values.
I believe that you could tell, you know what I'm saying? You could tell. And then when Shane came into the picture, it's just he might be really good at being able to orchestrate chemistry. You know what I'm saying? But unfortunately, with the coordinators he had, it wasn't there. And the players are frustrated because it's like, yo, come on, come on, clamp down, stand for something for us in the locker room. And then because that's not necessarily happening, then you just sort of get this sort of checkout thing. And that's why in press conferences, you repetitively hear all the players saying the same thing. I got to do better. We got to do better. I got to do better. We got to do better. We don't even know what that even means at this point, but they do, you know? So that's just my take on it. I say keep Sirianni, but I feel like the Eagles need to really look in the mirror and address, do y'all want to win or do y'all want to win according to particular terms? You know what I'm saying? And then everybody got to be a man and decide whether or not they want to adhere to those terms and stay, or if that's just not your individual brand of playing football, and then move on. You know what I mean? And for that matter, I respect Doug, because clearly Doug was like, look, I won a Super Bowl, and now y'all kind of want me to do this or conform or constrain to y'all particular brand of trying to get this done, when clearly I've shown you that I know how to get this done. I you know what I mean, I'll bow out. And if that's me being fired or whatever the case may be, then cool. I got my dignity.
Yeah, look, you made some real compelling points, and I do see, you know, how looking at what transpired at the end of games, during the end of games, just the whole last month of football, I wouldn't put it past some of the things you said coming to light, and just the frustration build up and just the lack of accountability because of that, right? Like, players start to show bad body language when they realize that none of their input is being considered, not because it's Nick saying no, but because there's
Yeah,
still higher
there you
hierarchy and
go.
all that.
Yeah, I
It's
don't think
going
they
to be
not
interesting, and
they privy
that's why I
to
can't.
those things. Yeah.
Go ahead.
My bad, I don't mean to cut you off. I was saying it ain't like it's not like the players don't know something that Nick knows. You know what I mean? They know the culture of what's going on in that building. Again, that's why nobody never said nothing particularly disparaging about Nick himself. You know what I'm saying? I just think there's a fundamental breakdown in when we're on the field and we're playing football, and how we know how we need to approach the game versus how the suits feel like we should approach the game. And I think that's where that's the underlying frustration with this team for at least the last 5 years. You know what I'm saying? I think so. And going to the Super Bowl and winning, you would think that would have been like, okay, cool, all right, maybe we need to switch up or change our stance a bit. But you know what I mean? It is what it is from that standpoint. And all the rest of it is fodder. Like, we don't know, like, all of that stuff about dissension in the locker room, all that. It's just, that's the rumor mill. But that ain't got nothing to do with what those guys know that's actually there, like 10 toes on the ground.
I mean, Fletch came out and really defended him more than I would ever have thought. He straight just put it to bed ASAP Rocky. That was funny
Yeah.
though.
He was about to slap the reporter
He
for
straight
even
called him
talking
a
like
clown.
that. Yeah. Yeah. So
Yeah, I
that's
love
my
that.
take, bro. That's where I'm coming from. I say keep Nick and just figure out what brand of football y'all trying to play. Are y'all trying to win, or y'all trying to, you know what I mean, win according to how he sees winning need to happen, or how Jeffrey Lurie sees winning happen. Like, what is the goal here? You know what I'm saying? That's what I think the conversation need to be.
Hey, I respect it. A nice different perspective. Trust your dopeness. I appreciate you, Brody.
My man, salute. Pleasure to meet you.
You too, bro. Peace, peace.
All right.
Trust your dopeness, man. You got to go on his IG, check out his merch. That's some really good stuff over there. Fine material for sure. Before we get my next guy in, Anthony C with the $20 banger. He said he had to leave the waiting room to run out or to run his pod. But in my opinion, I'm okay bringing Nick back with competent OC and DC, but he doesn't bring the X and O value. And we're going to be in the same cycle when they leave. So long term, he's gone. It's tough though. So I think he's saying, look, what can be good next year can ultimately just lead to him leaving the year after that or the year after that. Once we still get into a point where it's like every year it's a new OCDC or something along them lines. Maybe you lose your OC, not your DC, blah blah blah. Yeah, that's why it's a interesting situation. Too real Philly, what's going on with you?
What's going on, Mike? Man, I've been waiting for a minute.
Yeah, I know you you the ones that didn't eat one of your panels on here that didn't move. A couple people jumped in and out and whatnot, but
Yeah, it's
sorry,
good.
we
Listen,
trying to do
yeah,
these
nah,
as
you're
quick as
good, bro.
possible.
Listen, I'm a truck driver, man. You and LB, man, y'all keep me busy in the road.
I see you at work right now.
Yes, sir. Listen, one thing about this whole Nick situation, I agree with that with the other guy and the one that sent the shot, the roll. Why he said, doesn't matter if we change him or not. The next OC that we bring, he's gonna do good. He's gonna leave here. This is my take, and I'm gonna put it like this: if you take AJ, Smitty, Goddard, and put them in the Dallas Cowboy with Dak and Mike McCarthy, I ask you this: do you think they win the Super Bowl?
I don't know.
Smitty, Goddard with that because they do have a good offensive line, and McCarthy played good. But what was the issue over there? The balls over there. Don't
Yeah,
you think we have the same thing? Yeah. Don't you think we have the same thing here in Philly, but in the low key? We got Howie calling because if you remember how Nick Foles when we won the Super Bowl, how Nick Foles got better because you remember when he started playing after Carson got hurt, he started playing trash. Like we barely won the game. What did Doggy P did before he started playing better? He went back to Chip Kelly games and saw what he can do better with Falls. And he went back to the game where he went 27 and something like that when he went with the touchdown and interception radio. So what Doggy P did? Okay, let me go back to Chip Kelly. Let me see what Chip did to make him better. Why you think Nick can say, you know what? Let me go to the Steichen, see why he was doing better with Johnson and let me see what works better with these guys so I can put them in better position. But for some reason, we all see the game. I went to the game for the Giants and Philly right here in the link. And bro, even my wife, that she don't know much about football, she was like, they playing like trash. Listen, she don't know. Listen, she doesn't know. She like, why are they doing that? And that doesn't. I mean, we can find Nick, and what's gonna happen next? Don't you think we have like a cowboy type of situation that we need a yes man, no man, yes sir, no sir situation? The only thing how we keep it in the low key and listen is what I say, not what you say. I'm the coach. I'm the GM. You do what I say, and that's why you got Nick. And like the other guy, the previous guy said, nobody was looking at Nick when it was coaching. Nobody was looking at him. And you see the go ahead.
So my question to you is: you think we need to get rid of Howie Roseman?
Well, I think they should have been get rid of him a long time. I think that the reason why he came back with Chip, he learned. He said, "Okay, I'm gonna do this different." What was one thing that I've been watching your channel for a longest. And one thing that you before we got AJ, we always messed up with the wide receiver. We always messed up with the linebacker. He got better at that. He drafted better. We seen that in a couple of years, in the past 4 years. He been drafting better. But I think to me, I think he got a little cocky. He's going back to his old ways. We need linebackers. We need a coach that knows how to call offense. Because if you bring another OC and he put Jalen the way he was playing last year, MVP level type, what you think that's what's going to happen with that OC? He's going to leave for a head coaching job, and we're going to go like the other guy said. It's the same cycle all over again. So it's like we have a Jerry Jones in the low key. He wants a
Well,
head coach.
here's the one thing. Here's the one reason why we don't have a necessarily a Jerry Jones, because Jerry Jones is the owner and manager, right? Like you can say it's Stephen Jones. Jerry Jones's son is the real general manager. At the end of the day,
True.
somebody with the last name Jones is the owner and the manager.
And the
Where
manager, yeah,
we still
true,
have
true,
Jeff
true.
Lurie as the owner and Howie as the GM. So Lurie can always step in, right? At the end of the day, if Lurie says, "Wait, why were we better last year? Howie was less involved." Okay, well, that could be part of the plan.
True.
Maybe Nick Sirianni don't come in here, on some big dick Nick shit, pause, and say,
pause.
I need Howie out. But what if he just, simply reminds Lurie, hey, when I came in here year one and won 9 games and we got to the playoffs, y'all gave me a little bit more room in 2022. And maybe you saw how me, Shane, and JG did it with less Howie. I'm not saying Howie was less then and more now, but something is definitely different. Even be
exactly
past the coordinators. So maybe Nick comes in, even if it's politely, and says like, "Hey, look, I need the freedom I had in 2022. I need guys like Frank Wright." Again, Brian Johnson was elevated up. Maybe Nick just had nobody else to pick from, right? But Nick picked Shane. Nick picked
Nick, that's what I was about to say. Right? He picked them. He brought them with him, and that's the thing. But the problem is, we go back. We don't know what happened between Chip Kelly and why he got to that point.
He got put in
even though, he got put back there. But why? Maybe Howie's going back to his old way. He need to hit the brakes and say, "Hold on, let me chill. I know I've been successful for the past 4 years. Let me chill and let me keep the same strategy that I've been having for the past couple of years, so I can be successful." Because even so, bro, I was watching you. Was getting tipsy as fuck watching you on YouTube with those shots. I'm like, yo, he about to get effed up because listen, it was embarrassing to see the talent that we have in this team and go down like that. Especially seeing Kelsey crying in the sideline, bro. That shit hurt me. Listen, I've been an Eagles fan since I can remember for 25 years, bro. And it's like, bro, like this, you can't go, especially with the talent that we have. You can't go down like this. You need to let him stay and let him do what you let him do. When we went to the Super Bowl, let him pick his people, let him put his game plan, and how we focus about bringing good players. That's what you kill it. And if you do that, if you keep that same formula, listen, we're gonna be successful. But I think Howie's getting a little bit of his old ways, and he forgetting what was the main goal. Listen, we won another Super Bowl. Me and you, we probably in our 30s and maybe 40s. Bro, I want to see another Super Bowl. I want to see another one. Like, bro, like he needs to. I think Sirianni can stay because I think he keep control of the team. Like he keep that calm, cool, and collected. And then the OC can, he can do the nasty work. Let me put this game plan and let's go eat. And simple as that. I mean, because if you bring another OC, another head coach, who you gonna bring? You're not gonna bring Harbaugh. You're not gonna bring Belichick. I think he's gonna sign with Atlanta. Who are you gonna bring there? Because whoever you bring, they're gonna want power. How we not gonna give up the power? Because he already did that. So besides that, keep him. Do the right thing. Keep the same formula, and let's go, Bird, man. I know you got a bunch of people in the back. Keep it up, Mike, man. You the best UNLV, man. Best reporters on the Eagles, man. My bad, LB. I took that from you, bro. All right, bro. Be safe, man. Be safe. Man, I appreciate it, man. Thank you.
Peace. Shout out to my guy on the road. Still caring about the birds. You gotta love that for sure. Let's keep it going. Let's. I need to hear from y'all. We got a couple people still in the back. Mr. Turtle, or no, Mr. Turtle, Mr. NM True 505. Can you hear me?
Yeah. Hey, what's up, Mike? Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. What's up with you?
What's up, bro? I appreciate it. I appreciate everything you do, man. I just wanted to come on here and kind of say kind of the opposite, honestly, of everybody. But I think Nick has to go, man. I think we're giving him too much credit with everything. I think he's so stubborn that it took him to give up play calling to Shane just to have our offense running like it should. and people are still saying Howie's in control and all this. He's really not, like, compared to game planning. That is Nick. Nick's philosophy is believing that, we need to do the same things over and over again and get good at in order to see, I don't know, I guess the same results we've been seeing, which is just 4 verticals and trying to have Hurts, that doesn't feel comfortable in the offense to begin with, trying to, blame him for not changing plays like Shady, McCoy said and all that, when, it's coaching, it's like he's only 25, 26 years old. What were we doing at that age? Like, he needs to be shown different things on how to manage, and he's not.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, this is probably like the hardest decision for me because you got a resume of winning that you can't just laugh at, right? And you say he shouldn't get all that credit, and I don't believe he does get all the credit. I think a lot of it goes to Shane and even JG, who's now we're looking at JG differently, right? Still not happy with the Super Bowl performance.
Yeah, and I think his game management's just awful. Like, even in the Super Bowl, we had a 4th and I think 5, and he kicks the field goal instead of just trying to run our unstoppable offense we had at that time and trying to go for it. Or even against Tampa Bay, he's going for it after, they get a penalty, and then he does it, like, instead of just getting the points. Or his game management is just, it's not that good either. And it's like he kind of came out of nowhere with the hiring. So it's like, really, what is he, like, a good, like, motivator, I guess? Like we all say, like, he's always, like, Fletcher and Kelsey, they're all talking good about him, but they might not even be on the team, so they don't have nothing bad to say. They're going to be like, yeah, he's a good guy, he has a family. But really, Hurts didn't really go to bat for him. He was just like, I mean, yeah, Brian, him, whatever, the team, we got to be better. But Hurts wasn't like, he's my coach, like you saw Dak about Mike McCarthy, how he acted with him, and it was opposite. So I think there's something there where Hurts is just over the whole scheme of everything. Like, when they're going out of the limb against the Seahawks, with the pass to AJ and just trying to do different things because it's the same old thing. And then the fight started happening on the sidelines with everybody. So it's like something is up with this.
Yeah, look, there's definitely, we started hearing the league sources, the players only meeting, the sideline fights, this, that, and the third, right? Hurts wanting change, and Hurts is a quiet guy anyway, so I don't think he's ever going to really come out there and say nothing, but he hasn't been as defensive as he could have been to end the season for
so
Nick
I think
Sirianni.
that says it all. Yeah, smoke. Bro. I mean, I think there is, because it's tricky. I don't think you should bring him back because there's so many other good coaches that are, like, actually the other guys are saying, OG coaches that know what they're doing. And Sirianni came in, like, who knows if, Shane was doing most of his work and he was just falling back on him and in the Super Bowl crying. And he's like, man, I got here because, man, I didn't have to do much but just be motivational. Like, so it's like who was really doing all the work? Like, Gannon, Shane, and him had a huge meeting, supposedly, right? And the media said before the whole, saying of the flowers or the growing or whatever it was, they had a huge meeting, and it was Gannon that had to calm down Nick because he was freaking out, thinking he was going to lose his job after 1 year.
Yeah. Rumor was supposedly that Gannon is the one who told Nick to give his play calling to Shane.
Yeah, and that too. Yeah, so it's like, who's the real coaches? When it's like Shane and Gannon, like, I think Nick just got the benefit of everything, and he was pumped, talking crap to the Chiefs fans, feeling good about himself. And when it got bad, he just threw it all and doesn't know what to do. Is like a dog with his tail tucked in between his legs, bro.
Hey, you made some compelling points for sure. You're the first one to say, like, I think a lot of people are upset with
he has to go. We're going to be in the same circle, bro. We're going to be stuck with like everyone else is saying, with the coordinators leaving because Nick is not that type of coach. Like, we're going to be just in the same predicament next year, even if we get good OCs and DCs. he messed up not even hiring that guy, that Slay, the Baltimore coach. Bro, that dude should have been the DC from the get-go. But Sirianni has something in his mind that he wants to hire the same looking staff of everybody, that he doesn't see that like as a benefit for him. He's just so stubborn that you have a trash can outside the stadium saying all this stuff and run the ball signs, and you're still not running the ball on a 4th and 2 or 3rd and 2 or whatever it was. Like, what are you doing, bro? You have that call.
Yeah, I'm with you, bro. You're the first one that came in here and said Nick got to go no matter what. I think everybody is upset with Nick, but they're really wanting to give him a chance with new coordinators. But hey, you're the first one that came in here. Again, I wanted to hear all the opinions because we're gonna get some information very soon for sure. But hey, I got some people in the back. I gotta get to,
no
bro.
problem, bro. I mean, we might keep him. Like I said, I don't think we'll go that far to fire him because of everything, but I think he needs to be done. Get Ray Ball, get somebody else in there, man. But I don't think it'll happen. But I don't think giving him all this another year, I don't think it's gonna be good.
I hear you, bro. I appreciate your
All right, Mike. Yeah, appreciate you, bro. Later.
Peace. I always say this, but we're going to try to get through these a little bit quicker. Dank Birds with the $5 super chat. I appreciate it. And I love the picture. Revisionist history to say they made a mistake firing Doug Peterson because he wouldn't go with what Lurie wanted. We didn't trust Doug picking OCs either. Yeah, here's the thing. Doug didn't pick Frank Wright. And I don't even know if he did. I know he didn't pick Jim Schwartz. But Shane and JG were picked by Nick. But I know Doug didn't pick Schwartz, but I don't know if he picked Frank Wright, to be honest. But let's get through these. We got Joe, then Daniel, then King Jordan. That's the next 3. And then Fly Eagle 17, John Anthony, Naj, Thomas, who just dropped out, Daniel, and Panda Blam. Let's start with Joe Sharpie. What's going on, Joe?
Hey, what's up, man? How you doing?
Hanging in there.
So I feel like the last caller kind of missed some things a little bit. Like, I kind of agree with him a little bit. And I agree with a lot of people about Howie kind of running stuff. But he can want another head coach all he wants. But the Eagles will not hire a head coach unless he's a yes man. If he can stand on his own 2 feet, they're not going to do it. I feel like when they hire an offensive coordinator, it's like they let him cook for that first year or so. Like they let Shane Steichen cook. But once that good offensive coordinator leaves and they're established, I feel like Howie and Jeff are like, all right, let's try it our way. Let's try analytics. So we're going to tell them what to do. I mean, a lot of the notes I wrote down are kind of similar to what everyone was saying. Like, if you look back with the whole Doug situation with Nick Foles and all that, remember they were saying, well, not Nick Foles, with Carson Wentz, they were saying he's not a leader, he's this and that in the locker room. They're saying the same crap now to Jalen Hurts. I mean, I know it's a little bit different, but it was the same stuff back then. Everyone was saying, run the ball. Why won't they run the ball? Why won't they do this? The same stuff. So I feel like there is a good portion of that is analytical stuff that Howie and Jeff are controlling. I really, truly believe that. I don't know if you want to say something back first, so I'm not taking up all the time, but
no, I do agree. And you made a good point where you said like they let him cook. That's what I wanted to jump into, where it was like, okay, Shane has had legit OC experience other places, right? He was in San Diego and this. I mean, he was wide receiver coach, but he has experience. So you hire Nick. He does a decent job from turning a 4-win team to a 9-win team. He has Shane and JG year 2. They're starting to cook because you saw what they did to end to the 2021 season. And then Shane leaves and JG leaves. And what do we do for offense? We bring a quarterback coach to OC who's never really called plays in the NFL. And that lets Howie weasel his way back in some, okay, last year you did this. We're going to follow your same scheme, Nick, but let's implement these things. And these things could have been the death of us, part of the death of us.
The thing is, though, Brian Johnson's going to do well where he goes because we never actually saw his offense. We were all blaming him, but we never saw his offense. When he was at Florida, his offense wasn't like that. He gets the ball out of the hands of the quarterback quick, and he throws it to the running back. He even talked about doing that kind of offense. And I think, was Brian Johnson with them in 2021 when they played the Chiefs at home? He was still the quarterback coach, right?
He was the quarterback coach.
Because I remember them saying something. I think Steichen said interview. He's like, "Yeah, we let Brian Johnson call that round." And you saw in that game we should have won against the Chiefs that a lot of plays were like 2-second drops, threw the ball into Gainwell's hands, everyone's hands, and it was going down the field well. That's what Brian Johnson offense looks like. This looks nothing like that. Yeah, I don't know, man. It's very annoying because Hurts also said, what'd he say? It's not our time. It wasn't this. It feels like the NFL is influenced. I don't think it's outright rigged, but I feel like, again, back to the one arm tie behind the back, it was like the Eagles are playing with a handicap where it's like, okay, hold on. They won all these games. They went 10-1. They did a great job on their talents alone, but we're not going to let them just destroy everybody. And then it felt like they're running this most vanilla offense, these like 4, play calls, like a Chip Kelly offense. And it felt like they had to like be like this so other teams had a chance. It was just very strange. Like, I don't understand that.
Yeah, and look, with the amount of bad calls, I would never come in here to say like it's rigged, simply because if I ever let myself get too far on the rig stuff, it's like, why watch then? Bro, I was a huge fan of wrestling back in the day. When I found out it was fake, I stopped watching it, right? When I was about 11, 12 years old and I found out it was fake, I stopped. That was the whole Stone Cold era and whatnot.
Yeah.
The fact of the matter is, I do think it's influenced by, gambling and whatnot and missing a call here and there. But this is a really weird season. And again, there was just, once again, it's always like the Philadelphia media is really, really good at attacking us when we're low, right?
Yeah.
Like we lose a game or two and the stories came out like this, right? Like, why couldn't we hear a story when we lost our first game to the Jets, right? Because that was kind of humiliating, right? Undefeated, first loss to the Jets. We didn't hear a story, but like they wait till we're down, and then they just start stumping on us.
Yeah, the one more thing I want to say, like I was never a Carson Wentz, like, I think I kind of rode on that train after, like, he wasn't a great leader in the locker room, but now I'm thinking back, like, yeah, I saw the footage in the Super Bowl. Yeah, I saw he had the pouty face on, but I'm wondering if he was kind of sunken too, like, because he couldn't speak up and say how he wanted the offense to go, because the other person was saying a couple calls ago about like how how they wanted, like, Nick to be like the dog and to stand up for himself. I think that's how Hurts feels. I think the reason that Fletcher Cox and all those guys still like Nick Sirianni, they like him because they do see he's a good coach and he inspires. I don't think that they don't understand what Hurts is saying, but I think that Hurts is upset because Sirianni isn't going to bat for him to be like, hey, call what you want to call. Don't let them dictate over you. I think that's truly what it is, because their relationship was great the first 2 years. You saw how Hurts and Sirianni were interacting. I actually agree with a lot of things people are saying. I just don't think that truly the Eagles are not going to hire a coach that's going to stand on their own, because that would give too much power. They got gun shy after Chip Kelly did that. They were like afraid. They gave him that. They'll never do that, at least for a long time. They're going to hire someone that they can tell what to do. And then once there's a bad season, they'll be like, all right.
At least while Howie's there. Because Howie's the one who got put in the closet, per se. I mean, Lurie's still Lurie. No matter how much power you got, you're never going to disrespect the owner, right? But the GM, for sure.
All right, man, it was good talking. I want people to get on here, but I appreciate it, man. You do great content. I look forward to watching your stuff, and take care, man. Peace.
I appreciate it, Joe. Some good stuff right there. Be easy. Shout out to Joe. He came with the facts. My man had to listen to everything. I love the stuff he was saying. Daniel, what's going on with you?
Good evening, brother. How you doing, man?
I'm hanging in there. I'm trying to get as many perspectives as I can before we get up out of here. Hour and 13 minutes in.
I hear you on that, brother, but I'm on my self-joiner shit. I ain't even gonna lie to you, brother. I'm on my self-joiner stuff, man. I'm gonna just point this out there for most people that's watching on the live stream. I want people to really go search up and really review an interview or a press conference that Jeffrey Lurie had, I think, after the Super Bowl loss last year, where he dictated and literally told what he wants in the team. So basically, he was saying that he feels the NFL is going in a direction where it's just a power offense, and there's nothing that really you can do defensively to change the game, so forth. I want people to really go back and search that press conference up and wonder why they're seeing the results they're seeing this season right now. Because let's look at it in this way. Look at Baltimore. Look at San Francisco. Look at all these teams that have a great defense still in the playoffs. But look at us. Look at the Dolphins. Look at all these high-power offenses sitting on the couch with me and you right now. Like, I ain't gonna lie to you, brother. Jeffrey Lurie literally, like, just off of that statement on that press conference I saw last year, I already knew what this was going to be this year just based off of that, especially with the coaching hires. And we want the same DC, similar DC from John Forget. It's like Seth Jordan, like, everybody don't like, the unpopular bias, critique and stuff that, certain people have to say about the team. But I feel like this team was very comfortable in the ways of, I guess, how Nick Sirianni, like I don't know how it is. It's like they look at Nick Sirianni like he's a motivator, all this stuff, but I don't feel like you're getting any growth or feel like you're learning anything from this particular guy. So when people say this guy's a yes man and he's catering to what Lurie and how he wants him to do, yeah, you're not going to see much growth out of a team, or you're not going to get any really football IQ for the team. And that's another thing that Brady even said on the Stephen A. show interview. He said basically, people are not coaching the way they need to coach. They're not teaching the game of football like they used to. We're just teaching the way we want players to play, and we're not playing to win. So that's the only thing I have to say about that. As far as Nick Sirianni, I don't really think he has the IQ to be the head coach for the Eagles no more, bro. That's just me personally. I do think we need to start fresh. I do think if you do start fresh, you can at least have an opportunity to see what's better out there. But like I said, just based off the owner himself, and I'm going to say if nobody else is going to say it, he made a dumbass statement last year. Because look at the teams that's just consistently been in the playoffs. Even before we had our 3-year stint going into the playoffs, who's very much been like in the playoff run for the consistent basis. It was San Francisco. It didn't matter if it was Jimmy G. Didn't matter if it was fucking Brock Purdy. It's literally the same team with the same thing that counteracts what we believe as a team that we need to have, for our organization. We believe different than what they do, and we wonder why we're in this position now. Not to say that I'm a 49ers fan or anything of that sort. It's just, I'm not going to lie, I'm very frustrated with our mindset because it's a losing mindset, and we're not getting out of that way of thinking, is which will be going backwards instead of forwards. Like, we're becoming the Dallas Cowboys, and I like that really irks me to even say that. It really do, brother. It really does. And I don't mean to pour my emotions out on it, but it's just, I checked out literally ever since the San Francisco game. I will not lie to you, brother. I've been checked out. And it's been a hard 2 months to try to believe in everything, but I could just see the painting on the wall ever since that last press conference I heard from Jeffrey Lurie. That there told me exactly why things are going the way it's going now, because Lurie is wanting these things to happen this way, which brings the point with the other caller who was in the car. He was saying these things. He's saying, do you want to win, or do you want to win on your terms? Mm-hmm. Basically, that's what's going on right now. It's either Lurie's way or it's no way at all. So
yeah, and you're right. Like we look at we're still upset with JG for the Super Bowl performance and all that, right? But if you look at that season, we went to the Super Bowl that season, and yeah, you can look at the road in the playoffs and whatever, right? But we look what we were defensively, statistically. Last year we had a great defense, right? We were number 1 in sacks, least amount of passing yards. This year we can't get sacks, and anybody can throw on us. And yeah, there were some big games throwing wise, but again, I still want a defense like how the Baltimore Ravens defense is, and Niners, where they got their stacked rosters, but the scheme is, more aggressive for sure. But I think in today's game, right, offense wins the majority of the calls via the refs, but you still need a strong defense, especially in the playoffs.
Because I'm just telling you right now, Mike, Denard Wilson looked like a champ over there in Baltimore right now. He looks like a champ right now, bro.
and he's not the DC, is he?
He's not even the DC. He's just a DB coach. Like, you. That's how disrespectful. What I'm saying, and what I'm saying to you right now, Mike, basically is coming from the top down. Why couldn't you even retain this guy to be the? Because at least the DBs were still decent, if not the best, last year with Mike Epps and CJ.
He was an all-pro. He was an all-pro under Denard Wilson.
At least you had somebody that knew how to teach. That's what I'm saying. But now this guy just went all the way across to the AFC and got the number 1 seed with another different team all within a year.
And
because you can't take. Go ahead.
Last year, I in one of my videos, probably like a month and a half ago, I made this this little graphic. Don't exactly quote me on exactly where they are, but the Baltimore Ravens pass defense last year was ranked, I want to say 28th in the NFL. This year, it's top 5. I don't know exactly where it's in it, but it's top 5. So 28th, now they're top 5. We were number 1.
We just basically traded places. We just traded places this year.
We traded. Listen, regardless of what you think of Bradbury, under Denard Wilson, the dude was an all-pro, not a pro bowler.
But that's why I said it comes with teaching, coaching, knowing where to put people in different positions, not to be so passive. Like, don't get me wrong, you may get beat over top so like very few times playing an aggressive style, but you still put the fear and you put a mentality on the offense that they won't have an easy game. You cannot sit there and be passive the whole entire game and wonder why you sitting there got all these chip plays going all the way into the 20 into the end zone and they still scoring on the red zone. Like, it still don't change the difference if they take up all the time of possession or if they get a big chunk play. It doesn't matter. They still advancing the ball. Like, they're not getting it. And I feel like it comes from the top down, brother. And I'm on my Seth Joyner stuff right now. That's why I said I love Seth and what he be saying. People may not like it, but I feel like we have to get to a place where we're uncomfortable and just tell the truth about where we at. Like, I feel like the mentality
this all season is gonna be real uncomfortable for real, because I want to get us uncomfortable so we can eventually get comfortable, right? You can't just go back to being comfortable after what we saw the last month and a half in the playoffs. There got to be some uncomfortable conversations and developments for this Eagles team. It's not just and we back in action. Nah, I won't believe it, because I believed it for 6 straight weeks and I was looking like a fool each time.
Brother, and all right, that's why I said I checked out. I ain't gonna lie, I checked out 6 weeks ago. But go ahead, man. I appreciate it, but I just had to pour my heart out, man. I know there's some people that feel like how I feel, but I just had to put my 2 cents in. I really think Lurie someone needs to talk to him, just to change his perspective, open his mind up, and actually understand the full game of football and not just what he wants. Like, everything can look pretty, but if it looks pretty and you're still losing, what's the difference?
Hey, I'm with you on that. Good talk, bro.
All right, brother. All right, have a good one, Mike, and be blessed, man. Have a great year, man. If I don't talk to you again.
You too, bro.
All right, man. Stay.
All right, that was some good stuff. He said he's coming in on the Seth Joyner-ish. Shout out to my guy Daniel. Here we got King Jordan. What's up, King Jordan?
What's going on? Philly Talk with Philly Mike. What's up, man?
What's up? We chilling real quick, though. Let me get this super chat out. Bobby Bobinski with the $2 super chat. Eagles should trade up for Trotter Jr. Go Birds. Listen, I think you can get him in the second round, but listen, I don't want to take no chances. Give me a Jeremiah Trotter or give me a Trotter Jr. for sure. We definitely need to upgrade this linebacking crew 1000%. But King Jordan, how you feeling on the future of the Eagles and everything we've been talking about?
Well, I feel like with all the obviously game over, emotions and back down, I feel like Nick should come back just first off, because I feel like, what do you see the bad teams? What do bad teams do? A lot. Like, I feel like they constantly go through multiple coaches, and I feel like don't really give any coach that they have a real chance. And I feel like when it comes to recruiting other players that want to come to play for your franchise, whether they good or just decent, no player's going to want to come to that, because it's like they're looking at, okay,
you want some stability.
Yeah, you want stability. Like, you don't want to constantly you want to play for a franchise where, let's say, for example, you can have a player there play for your franchise 5 years. You don't want to go through 3 different head coaches. And I feel like if you get rid of Nick, that'd be what? This would be what? The 5th coach, if you include Andy Reid, it was what? Andy Reid, Chip Kelly, Doug Peterson, Nick, and then somebody else. I feel like that's not really a good look. I feel like bring them back. I know, trust me, and I feel like most teams that obviously went to the Super Bowl the year before, I feel like it happens like that. We want to get back because we feel like we was that close to getting it, but we didn't know. We didn't make it happen. So I get it. I'm pretty sure you got Bengals fans felt the same way. They got to the Super Bowl and they were basically right there in the championship game again, and they didn't get it done. So I feel like just everybody need to calm down, bring Nick back. I feel like, as far as OC, I feel like I like Eric Bieniemy and Watson. I don't know if he's going to be available. But I feel like that's a good OT that I would like to see. You seen what he did with Pat Mahomes. You seen what he did with Sam Howell, who was really not a big name, but he made him look good. I feel like now that's all we really got to focus on. Just get a new OC in DC, get back to the drawing board. Everybody calm down. I get it. We wanted to get back to the Super Bowl. It was a long fall from grace, but just get back to the drawing board. Like, don't. I feel like don't do the same thing that you see a lot of bad teams are going through constantly, multiple different coaches, because no player's gonna want to play for that.
Well, what do you think about this? Let's make Big Dom the OC.
Nah, that ain't happening. Nah, just give me that security, man.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Nah.
The whole Big Dom situation was wild. But now, look, I agree, and I honestly think, the scenario that makes the most sense if Nick comes back is having a Frank Wright as the OC, a guy who knows Nick, similar schemes, can challenge him in similar ways Shane Steichen did, and also, if he has a good year, is not going to be looked at to leave as a new head coach because he's already been there, done that kind of,
Right. I feel like the in-house thing for most of the in-house. I feel like we just seen how that went, and that technically didn't go well. So I feel like I'm okay with just doing just outside hiring, like just get back. I feel like it's like everybody said, we are too talented for having to have ended like that. I would just I was excited for the wild card game, but I was just like after once, a couple plays in, I was just like, yeah, man, I just want
I
to see
low
them
key
go
knew
back to
too.
the
See,
point.
I do the live play by plays, right? So I be live for the game, and so it sucks when you want to turn a game off at halftime, but you can't do it. You know what I mean? And so
Yeah.
I always believe, but we were playing we started that game really bad. It was just you had you really went on a 5 out of 6 game drought. You really said you were going to get better each week. You really had the opportunity. You played the Giants twice. You had the opportunity to even practice versus the blitz, and you couldn't get it done right. It was very frustrating.
Yeah, I feel like also where you really saw it was an issue. I feel like switching. I feel like what they did this on the side. I feel like I did not like that. I'm not one of those fans of the team where it's like when it's going good, I love them, but then when it goes bad or it gets a little rough, then I'm like, oh, get rid of them. I feel like it was not. I feel like on the side, he could have done a lot of things, but I felt like he did well. Like I feel like back when we played the Rams, you got to think about it. We shut them out the second half. They did not score after that. I feel like I'm not one of those flip-flop kind of people where it's like, oh, I love them when things are going well, and I hate them when things are going bad. No, calm down. Everybody bring it back. No, we all adults. Just bring it back. Let's get back to the drawing board. That's it. It's because, like I said, either changing coaches or doing something like that, as crazy as that is, as late in the season as it was, changing DCs, not firing them, but just sending them upstairs, putting them in a box, just having to be all over the place. That was just too much. I feel like we still have a
Our
good
defense
roster.
got tremendously worse.
Yeah, it was just like watching every game, and then every time you see the third down, I was just like, yeah, they're not stopping this. We might as well it's just not happening. It was just like the confidence was not there. I don't understand what happened between last year and this year. I
thought it couldn't get worse than Sean Desai, and Matt Patricia was like, hold my beer. I'll show you worse. That shit was bad.
I had no confidence. When I see that switch, I'm like, Matt Patricia, I'm like, okay, see how that go. It's not that just I don't know. I feel like, and it's real easy to play a bland game. Obviously, when you're losing, it's real easy, especially whether it could be just regular people. Know you could be playing a pickup game at the park, where you from. If you lose, it's like, man, you ain't do this, you ain't do that. It's real easy to do that. It's real easy to point the finger, but it's like we all gotta look yourself in the mirror. Okay, this is a collective thing. Just get better. That's it. I know. I know we had high efficiency because of the fact that we were literally a bad call away from a championship. I get it. Just everybody literally need to bring it down. Like I feel like firing a coach, that'll be the worst thing. I feel like that could really just firing a head coach. I feel like will change our franchise for the worst. To me, that's not a good move at all.
So you like
everybody loves Nick. Everybody loves Nick. When last year, it was just like nothing couldn't get in the way. It was just like, and then we lost 2 games in a row after Jalen Hurts. Nobody panicked then. So it's just like, yo, relax. You love somebody. I feel like you a fan of your team. You gotta sit with them through the good and the bad. Don't bail on somebody just because the season ended the way it was. I know it was horrible, but that don't mean you should bail on them.
Hey, I respect it. I respect it. I do think Nick is coming back, and so that's why I wanted to check the temperature of Philly. This is the first call-in we did in a long time. It's been a long time since I did a call-in. I appreciate you, King Jordan, for rocking and giving me your insight.
All right, man. Appreciate it, both. Love.
Peace. Shout out to everybody who called in. We got 3 more people in the back. I did take it down. I don't know. I did take it down, so not many more people can come back in. We've been live for an hour and 30. I told my wife we'd be live for only an hour. Shout out to Bobby Bobinski. He said, make said join to the DC. Sign me up for that. Philly Laz with the $10 super chat. Appreciate it. Hey, Philly Laz, you should have been here a little sooner. You could have called in. The last rookie head coach to win a Super Bowl was in 1989. If we fire Nick right now, every Eagle fan needs to ask themselves this. Are you okay with punting on the 2023-2024 season? Last 3 Eagle head coaches were all rookies. Last 3 Eagle head coach were all rookies. Yeah, you're right. We don't normally hire the Vrabels or the Belichicks. It was the Doug Petersons, the Chip Kelly, the Nick Sirianni first-time coaches. So you do that again, you really take a chance of really kind of just looking for the future and not next year. Let's get to these last couple. John Anthony, what's up with you, John?
Yo, Mike, you can hear me?
What's up?
You got me, you can hear me?
Say it again.
I said, you can hear me? You got me on four?
I can hear you a little bit, a little staticky.
Oh, all right. Nah, man, I just want to say, bro, Nick got to go. He's too soft. It's too analytical. It's not clean ball right now.
He got to go?
I think he got to go. Me personally, it's too soft. It's I don't know. Homecoming powder puff fucking girls football last fucking game, man.
So who are you looking to replace him with?
I like somebody aggressive. We just need to get back to that aggressiveness. We ain't as aggressive as we used to be. I feel like a Vrabel. Somebody experienced, I think. More experience, I think.
Yeah, I mean, if we did again, if we did move off of Nick, which I don't even know exactly where I'm at with that yet, and I don't know what the decision will be. So, I'm trying to temper my expectations. I would want somebody with the full experience. I wouldn't want to go a rookie head coach like Philly last said. The last one that won a Super Bowl was 1989. They don't grow on trees. It's just, I'm just conflicted because what I saw was really, really bad at the end of the season. I understand his body of work, but like I'm nervous.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying too. Yeah, we did it. 3 years, 3 playoffs, Super Bowl, but we fired fucking Doug when he won the Super Bowl. I don't get it, man. The up top is messed up. I don't know, man. Something going on.
They're saying in the chat that your microphone that you're
Go ahead. I'm gonna let you go. I'm at work instead, man. I just wanted to get hands, so I don't like what they're standing at as an organization right now, man. It's too
look.
tough.
I respect you coming again. Nobody's right, nobody's wrong. We're gonna see what transpires soon for sure. And again, I want to hear opinions. Good, bad, ugly, sad. Nick stay, Nick go. I'm glad you came in here and just talk what's on your mind. That's what I like the most.
Appreciate it, man. I'm gonna let you go, man. I'm at my job, man.
All right, yo, be easy. Get that money, bro. Hey, shout out to John Anthony coming through at work, trying to get his 2 cents in. Y'all be easy on his mic. I'm just kidding. Hey, the dude's trying to get, trying to get his point across while also being at work. Shout out to Bald Eagle with the $2 super chat. Remember when you thought Kelsey wasn't retiring? You're right. I thought he wasn't retiring, and he officially hasn't retired. So you're telling me there's a chance. You know what I mean? Thomas, what's going on with you, bro?
Yo. Can you hear me?
How you feeling?
Listen, I haven't been an Eagles fan for that long. Haven't lived that long. But I'd say this is worse when we won like 3 games that one year. Honestly. At least I didn't have that expectation that high. I mean, and also for the people that are saying to keep Nick Sirianni, like my biggest question for everybody, every Eagles fan is, what exactly does Nick do for the team? Because he obviously isn't a defensive guy. He doesn't do anything for the defense, so I'm going to give him no credit there, obviously. But for the offense, he had 7 weeks to think of the most basic concepts. You're not going to fix the entire offense in 7 weeks. I'm not expecting him to do that. But he couldn't just think of a blitz counter in 7 weeks in the playoff games. I mean, like, you can't be that good of an offensive-minded coach if you have an offense this bad with the talent that has on the team. I just don't think it's possible. So I don't think he's a very positive in the offensive game. He's not a positive in the defensive game. He's obviously not a special teams coach. What does he do for the team? Why are we keeping him as such an important role for the team, like a head coach role, when he really doesn't contribute anything significant to the team, especially when you have people like Bill Belichick and Mike Vrabel sitting in the corner that can make significant changes to some sides of the ball, like instantly. It just doesn't make any sense to me.
True. But where's your take on how they would fit under Howie Roseman's management? Do you think, again, some people believe it's just a myth, some people believe it's true, where you can't get a guy who's going to control that much as long as Howie Roseman's here? What's your take on that whole scenario?
See, I don't know too much about that, and I do believe Howie Roseman definitely definitely has some control over the way everything works. But I don't think we can get Bill Belichick or anything like that, or maybe probably not even Mike Vrabel. But even someone like Ben Johnson, I mean, he definitely make the offense way better, and I do think that there's a decent chance he would be able to comply with Howie and Jeffrey Lurie and their control over the game. I mean, it's not like they're experienced coaches that should have too much of an issue with it. And I don't think they're have full control of the offense with the analytical stuff that I heard earlier. I just don't think that's a real thing. I just think they have a decent bit of control, and they definitely influence some things. So we can't get a guy like Bill Belichick or anything like that.
Well, I also like what some people were saying early in this too, like maybe the fact that Shane, who had some experience in other offenses and coaching wide receivers and stuff like that, when it was Shane and Nick, maybe Howie backed off a little bit. But when it was Nick and Brian, Nick being the predominant scheme developer, game plan with a little sprinkler of Brian Johnson, and he calling plays, maybe Howie got more involved again analytically. I don't know. There was definitely a disconnect between the players and the coaching staff for sure. And again, I'm not a coach, but there was clear things that were seen that's just obviously like, bro, you can't do this. You shouldn't be doing this. You're too good. Even if you're not smart enough, you've seen it in 2022. You got game film you can go over. I mean, we were just so predictable and so non-creative, and he truly doesn't believe in motions and none of that stuff.
It's a problem when you see 9,000 different YouTube videos of non-Eagles fans just completely roasting every aspect of the coaching when it comes to defense, offense. It's like it's comedic to a point when you watch these videos and you're like, wow, this is a person getting paid millions of dollars a year to just be this horrific. It's hard to imagine. But then again, I'm not an NFL coach. I don't know everything. And also to the point where you made when you said like maybe Howie has more input now. Maybe that's because, he wasn't very familiar with Shane Steichen. He wasn't very comfortable. I mean, Nick Sirianni brought somebody from heck knows where. And now that Ben Johnson's here, I mean, maybe he's just more comfortable just completely taking over and maybe ignoring Ben Johnson's input because he's been here for a while. I'm not really sure on that regard. That's just kind of a guess if I had to give a guess.
No, I hear you. And for the people who talk about it, and I'm not saying, look, I do think Howie wants some control, but shout out to Technic 5150. He also said it, and I saw the episode of the Herd show, Colin Hurd, who had Julian Edelman on here, and he said, Edelman said that he believes Belichick will be able to get along with Howie Roseman, and he has respect for Howie Roseman and stuff like that. So who knows? Here's my thing. If a coach like Belichick walks in, no matter what Lurie or Howie Roseman believes, if the man tells you, bro, I know how to win a Super Bowl, do you want me to win one for you? I think sometimes you got to fall back. You know what I mean?
I mean, the problem with Edelman, as much as I like the guy, I mean, he says so many things about Bill Belichick. You don't even know what to believe at some point. I mean, he goes on every podcast and all he talks about is Bill Belichick. It seems sometimes like he maybe fabricates a thing or two or bluffs.
Yeah, and plus I'm a little nervous that Bill Belichick is a little bit stuck in the past and doesn't have any. I don't know. Here's the thing. Belichick gets the most out of a suspect linebackers, which what we have. Belichick will whip this defense into shape for sure. You would just need an experienced OC. When Belichick was really cooking, it was when he had Josh McDaniels as OC. Josh McDaniels never really survived anywhere as a head coach, but he still was able to call some plays up, So you would still need an offensive coordinator for sure. But I am so curious. Again, It's been 3 days now that Nick Sirianni was able to
Yep.
gather himself, and then I guess tomorrow's the official day where he talks to Jeff Lurie about the future, and let's see what he got to bring to him. You know,
Yeah, I mean, before I head out, you basically just said exactly what I was trying to say on my question. Like, what does Nick do for the team? I mean, Belichick comes here, and like you said, he would transform this defense. I don't know about the offense. I don't know about everything else. But when you have a guy as a head coach role, wasting space really for the team, he builds a good culture. He builds a good culture. I'll give him that. But you
that
don't give someone a role of head coach, have him have that many important duties for the only thing he can do positive for the team is build a good culture. I don't care how many wins he's gotten. I don't care about any of that. If you can't tell me what he does for the team and he's a head coach, there's a problem there. And I can't tell you what he does for the team.
he builds that culture,
Yeah, he
grows
does.
them roots.
All right, man. I gotta head out. It's school night.
Nah, just kidding. I appreciate you, bro.
See you, man.
Peace. And then we got our last caller. Shout out to Bobby again with the $5 super chat. If you're a true fan, you would never bring in Belichick. Shame. I mean, Belichick, you know, there's been a lot. Sheesh, we should have won that 04 Super Bowl as well. Shout out to Daniel. Last caller. What's going on?
What's happening, Mike? What's happening, everybody? How we feeling tonight?
Hey, we hanging in there. You the last one. You gonna take us to close to that 2 hour mark. Then we gonna get up out of here. But what's your take on everything? We heard some, pro Nick. We heard some not pro Nick, like for Nick, against Nick, in between, depending on the coordinators. Where you stand with all this?
To be honest, I'm on the fence of firing everybody but Jeff Stoutland and or bringing in keeping Nick, unfortunately. But you got to monitor who is he bringing in as for his staff. To be honest with you, because for me, ever since Nick got here, especially this year, showed that his staff and the roster carried him. Only thing that he can do is be a rah rah guy. It's almost given what Dan Campbell has in Detroit, but Dan Campbell still has the backing of the team behind him and his coaches next to him and the front office trusting him to get the job done. It's a combination of a lot of different things, but mainly it's the coaching and Lurie and Howie doing what they're doing, unfortunately. I hate to admit it, but that's what it feels like ever since Howie got put into the custodial closet when Chip was here, he's been on a tear trying to prove himself. To be honest, he has with some of his roster construction recently in the draft because before he drafted all the Georgia boys, he wasn't drafting true world players out here at all. I'm still monitoring what he's going to do. Who is are the projections for him to even bring in as draftees for one?
Mm-hmm.
Who they will allow to bring in as a coaching second. Because, like I said, the key Sirianni, this staff has to be great. This staff has to be great. If they fire Sirianni, like the cause we were saying before me, they won't bring anybody that's going to challenge Howie. Forget Lurie. Nobody's going to disrespect the owner unless you have to. You know what I'm saying? But it's mainly Howie. Howie doesn't want to lose control. That's how I feel so far.
Nah, you make sense, and I think that's one of the things that got to be worked out. As much as we got to figure out what's going on with Nick and the new coordinators, we got to figure out what's really going on with Howie Roseman. And again, the only person that can really step in and change that aspect is Jeff Lurie. Again, maybe Nick Sirianni and his future plans for the Eagles talks about, hey, we need less of Howie Roseman doing this, that, and the third. Maybe it bites him, but maybe Jeff Lurie opens his eyes. Again, I think the way this season finished, understanding with what we did with the cap and the way we, paid Jalen and you got this guy under contract, like our roster was legit. You didn't max out in cap, but we didn't have that much cap. We spent the dollars to go out there and get victories. And so I think Jeff Lurie is going to be upset. I think this is one of the off seasons where it's tricky because your head coach is not a play caller on the offense or defense. However, he has a good body of work and he has a good relationship with them. But in the way we lost with what is still on the roster, like it's a big difference if you have a bunch of young players on the team and you're like playing for the future. Okay, right? Like Jeffrey Lurie has to really look at the situation and pick Nick a veteran coach, what is the best? Because guess what? When 2024 comes around, whoever's the coaching staff, the Eagles are going to be a contender.
It should be. It should be.
When the season comes upon us, right? We're in preseason and blah blah blah. They're going to look at this Eagles roster and say, these are the 3 or 4 teams in the NFC that have a chance to win a Super Bowl, and we're going to be mentioned. Why? Because we're still going to have that roster. Who knows what happens in a draft and or via trades? Like Howie Roseman's aggressive, right? We've been like that, and we're going to stay like that for the next couple of years because our window's still open. And so I think all that makes this decision much harder because it's not just like get a good guy for the future. We need someone who's going to win this year, 2024.
Yep. I mean, look, because I'm a football head, I watch every football league out there. Look, when you watch the USFL, the Philadelphia Stars run a better offense, even a more aggressive defense than we do. And they made it to their championship back to back. Lost, but they made it back to back. Shoot, I wouldn't even mind if they keep Sirianni or they cut him. Especially if John DeFilippo has a great year with the Memphis Showboats. Bring him in. He's the type of coach that you will want. He runs modern type of offense with modern concepts. He's going to put everybody in motion. He's
You mean
going to
an
run the ball
OC,
down.
right? As an OC.
I wouldn't even mind him being the head coach because what he's doing with spring ball, he's making these boys play pretty good. I mean, I don't know you watch spring ball or not, but for me, doing the job between the end of the draft to training camp, I'm watching spring ball. But I wouldn't mind having DeFilippo coming here to be head coach or even OC. I wouldn't mind Bellamy from Washington to come up here to be the OC or even a head coach because the NFL has yet to give him a shot. And everybody knows when he is coaching, he's all about the details. He was getting to everybody's behind about how you're
I
going to be
like
running my
him.
offense. I wouldn't mind having Antonio Pierce here because of his intensity and how he wants everybody to come correct. And he's going to build a proper staff behind him so he can properly coach his team. I think Antonio Pierce has enough football knowledge to run the X and O's on the defense. He just needs somebody to bring out what his vision is for a defense, which is probably could be Patrick Graham from Las Vegas. It could be Wink Martindale again. Shoot, even bringing one of these college coaches, Michigan's defensive coordinator Meyer. He runs the same type of defense that Baltimore runs, and they stopped Alabama for one to get into the championship, and they made sure Washington didn't score a single point too much in the national championship. Or even bring in shoot, there's so many options out there for us coaching wise, so we can be a better team. That's all I'm trying to say.
No, I
And
totally agree. And look at Sean Paul H with the $5 super chat. Hire Eric Bieniemy as an offensive coordinator or head coach. Sirianni is too soft. Accountability for when offensive defensive coordinator is messing up. And I agree. Eric Bieniemy, we only went sideways from his OC and the KC to OC in Washington. But a lot of people got to look at Eric Bieniemy in a different light because he might call some plays over there in KC. But that's still Andy Reid's offense, and he's calling the majority of the plays, right? So Eric Bieniemy really got to show that he is who he is. How he called plays for Sam Howell in that Washington offense that put up 700 yards in total passing when they played us 2 times when you combine them. And so I'm just looking for just more creativity, to be honest. And I just think that you got to bring that into a team that is ready to win.
Totally agree. I mean, the enemy made Sam Howell look like a decent quarterback, and I thought he should be playing in spring ball. But like I said, shoot, one more possible candidate, the offensive coordinator from Washington, and how he had Michael Pence and them moving, and how creative that offense is. I wouldn't mind bringing it in. But I don't want to hold you up. I know wifey going crazy that you're still in here doing your live. Thank you for letting me on, and thank you for doing what you're doing. Hopefully you can have another call in, and when you do, I'll be right back here talking with you, bro.
Yeah, and sorry, you were one of the people that waited for like almost the whole thing. We definitely gonna have to do something where we got like a clock or something ticking down because there was a lot of people who even dropped out that didn't get to say what they said. They were waiting back there for a while. I gotta figure out a better recipe, but or even maybe have a group of 4 on here. I can bring more people on. I just don't want it to be hectic, everybody talking over each other. But the call-ins were a big part of the channel early on, and this off season we're gonna bring them back at least once or twice a month for sure from the whole off season leading up to draft and everything. And I think even during the season we're gonna bring these back to talk about what we'd like or dislike from the last matchup to the new matchup. But I appreciate you, Daniel.
Thank you, Mike, and you have a great one and have a great year. Can't wait to see what you do next.
Peace. Shout out to everybody who tuned in via like. Hey, hit that like button. I don't even know how many likes we got. I haven't really talked about it, but hit the like button. It's free. It's easy. It don't cost a thing. Bobby Bobinski said, "Can't wait for some Sixer streams." Mike, what's up? Hey, I need to talk to y'all about that soon for sure. I'm a Sixers fan. Still watch them. I just haven't been doing it on the channel. Atar Navarro with the $10 super chat. Sorry, I'm late. Busy right now. I'm gonna have to rewatch later. Eagles need a lot of work though. Play calling, mentality, defensive revamp, etc. Can check out the way we did since about week 12. That's facts. And next call in, Atar Navarro, you got to come in and call so we can hear your voice as it pertains to your take on the Philadelphia Eagles. With that being said, I appreciate everybody. Still got 287 people in the building. Been live for an hour and 51 minutes. That's what the call-ins are, right? At least 20 different people got to say their, opinion, or at least 20 people. With that being said, until next time, you know what time it is. We out. Peace. Hit the like.